Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Contrary to what you're hearing today and what you might hear coming out of the White House press room, the fiscal state of our great nation is in desperate need of a reality check. And facing this looming fiscal crisis, House Republicans have risen to the occasion. We passed the Limit, Save, Grow Act, a package of fiscal reforms and pro-growth policies to protect the full faith and credit of the United States, but ensure that we will not accrue debt as we have over the past few decades. Without providing a solution of their own, the White House has resorted to false statements, alleging, for example, that the Limit, Save, Grow Act would cut veterans' benefits, despite there not being a single line in the bill to substantiate the claim. But while the president refuses to negotiate, the House Budget Committee is pushing forward to identify meaningful areas to reduce spending in a federal government that's growing increasingly, yes, woke and weaponized. Often overlooked as a source of potential savings, improper payments from government programs amounted to over $247 billion last year. That's nearly 15 times the total of this year's budget for Customs and Border Patrol. And as we know, there's a crisis in Customs and Border Patrol that is under-resourced, undermanned, and understaffed. Let me ask Ms. Gressler, this was a primary point made in your testimony. How is this able to happen year after year? How are we not able to get a handle on this?
There's simply no accountability. It doesn't matter how much in improper payments goes out the door. All that's done is there's a report, it's measured, it's sent in, nothing happens. You get more money. A lot of these are entitlement programs. They are entitled to get the dollars no matter what. And as I pointed out, in some cases, that means you have to take $1.46 to deliver $1 in benefits.
In one of the more egregious examples of improper payments in your testimony, you showed that more than 550 million claims for unemployment benefits went to people who were not unemployed. To what degree do you think that the rapid expansion of these benefits throughout the COVID pandemic played a part in this? And have you noticed any other contributing factors to increased rates of improper payments in your research?
Yeah, I think that the federal unemployment pandemic programs created a perfect storm. The state systems were already outdated, but then the federal government stepped in and they imposed these standards on the states that they could not follow through with. Essentially, anybody could qualify for an unemployment insurance benefit. You simply had to say, I've been affected by COVID-19. There were no income checks, and the impetus was told to the states, get the money out the door quickly, we'll check it afterwards. Well, we've seen what has happened is that they're not checking it afterwards, and it's very difficult to get the money back once it's out the door. One of the most egregious ones is the only one I can point to is a rapper in California who made a YouTube video called EDD for California's Employment Development Department, and he's sitting there with a video showing the stacks of EBT cards and saying, hey, you got to go sell cocaine. All I got to do is file a claim. So yes, they got him, but they're not getting the Chinese state-sponsored hackers. They're not getting the international crime rings. And so we're bringing in a couple million, maybe even $1 billion here and there, when $357 billion went to people who were not unemployed.
And it's having an impact on our ability to fight the international drug trade, secure our border, and any other number of important priorities of this government. Mr. Ebel, nonsensical climate regulations also present prime opportunities for reductions in spending. For example, the EPA received $10 billion for FY23 to enact regulations such as their new WOTUS rule that burdens farmers, and by proposing stringent tailpipe emission standards to target an overwhelming majority of passenger vehicles. Further, the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy received $3.2 billion for FY23 to go after Americans' gas stoves, washing machines, refrigerators, light bulbs. How do these regulations impact an American's freedom to choose what they want to buy in an open market, and would the outcome of these regulations result in disparate impacts for low-income families?
Thank you, Representative Cline. I think you've raised a very important issue that deserves its own hearing. And I hope that you will be putting some riders in appropriations bills in your other committee assignment.
We're working on that.
Yes, all of these rules and regulations on efficiency standards on appliances, cars, furnaces, air conditioners are raising costs, which reduces people's choice because they find that they can't afford what they really want or need. When without the regulation, they would be able to afford it. So choice is a huge issue here, and I think the American people are getting fed up with all of the gas stove. The gas stoves hit a nerve, but so some years ago, Mr. Burgess knows, some years ago, so did the incandescent light bulb ban. So this has been going on a long time, and there's a lot of work to do here.
Thank you.